Okay, hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome to the first live stream of Churchills India, a campaign I'm going to be doing here in Hearts of Iron 4 Red Flood. So first off, hello everybody. Second, so let's talk about Red Flood real quick. This is a Hearts of Iron 4 mod that I played, was it in 2019? It must have been 2019. It was before it released. I think the devs gave me an early release copy. And it was a little bit buggy. I kind of overblew how buggy it was. I was just getting a little pissed and frustrated with some things that I didn't have to be so angry about. And so I ended up not really playing it anymore because I started paying attention to other things. And then the 2020 year happened, and we all know how that goes. So I decided, one of the things that I said I was going to do in my State of the Channel video at the start of 2021 is I said that I wanted to give this another chance at some point in the year. And I'd planned on doing it later on, maybe over the summer or something, but then somebody brought to my attention that there is now a playable nation, well, it's not that it wasn't playable, but it has its own tree, in India, which in this mod is very broken up. And you guys know, if there's one thing I like, it's starting as a minor nation in a really broken up section of the world and uniting it. So I thought it would be fun to at least get that started. I had considered doing this as a pre-recorded campaign, but a harsh lesson that I've learned over the last couple months is that whenever I'm going to be doing something new on the channel, I need to at least live stream it first, because there could very well be copyrighted material on it. And if there is, then the entire series ends up getting demonetized because of that. So it's better to do a 2-hour live stream, find out it's demonetized. Okay, fine, I'll flow from there, instead of recording 20 episodes of a series and then I upload the first one and they say, hey, sorry, you got copyrighted music on here. So, like this music right here, I don't know if this is copyrighted. Guess we'll find out. So let's kind of jump into things here. Let me just get a little sip of my tea. Ooh, no, it's still a little too hot. Okay, let's go. So some of you are probably wondering, what is the concept of Red Flood? Well, we're gonna find out in the introduction. So let's start up a new game. There's not actually two starting things here. It just shows the different halves of the world. I guess I'll read them both to either familiarize or refamiliarize you all with the Red Flood world. So, the Rising Flood. The world has descended further into darkness since the end of the Great War. With the collapse of the Western Front, the Russian Civil War, and the revolutions that swept most of Europe to radicalism, it seems as if the ideas of liberalism fought so dearly for in the First World War amounted to little in the face of the futurists and the councilists. Europe, indeed the world, stand in a fragile balance that may tip with the slightest of provocations. Then there's the Setting Sun area. Ever since the demise of the KMT alliance, meaning the Kuomintang, Asia has been consumed by chaos and strife. Warlords battle it out for who will be the true ruler of China, and across the Himalayas, similar warlords fight over the destiny of India, while the British desperately try to hold on. Meanwhile, Japan, consumed by its own imperialism, does not see the collapse of its nation swiftly approaching. The sun is setting on many empires, but it will be rising on others. So I guess it doesn't matter which I select, because it's all going to the same area. Oh, actually, what? Oh, I didn't know that this was a thing. Look, if you select different starting scenarios, so to speak, it shows you different major powers. So if you click on the Western one, it shows you mostly European nations, but if you click on Setting Sun, it shows Japan and the United Provinces and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going into this blind because I just wanted to. I thought it would be fun. So here's who we're going to be playing as. Winston Churchill, the brutal colonizer. This hurts our daily political power game, but it's going to help with our construction speed. The man responsible for butchery in Gallipoli, where Anzac forces were gunned down for no gain. The tyrant behind the chemical weapons used in the Middle East. the dictator of India, where entire villages vanish. Winston Churchill is a broken man who cannot stand the blood he drowns in every day. What will happen to poor Winston? He is propelled forwards by nothing but the expectation that more pain-dulling whiskey is on the horizon, not seeing the knives sharpening around him. Oh my. You know what, that is reminding me, there was actually a book about Churchill that I was wanting to pick up, about his, hold on a sec. Give me a second here. Hold on. Not the Martin Gilbert one, although Martin Gilbert's good. Martin Gilbert is the official, like, you know, what do you call it? Biographer of Winston Churchill. But, you know, sometimes with official biographies, well, you learn some things. Other things will also be hidden. But I was wanting to pick up the book by Candace Miller. So I'm actually pulling it up right now in another tab so I don't forget. Candace Miller is a terrific historian. She kind of... I'm trying to think what's her most famous book. They're kind of just all critically acclaimed. Probably her most famous one is called Destiny of the Republic. She's written 3 books. Anyway, the one I'm looking for is, here we go, Hero of the Empire, the Boer War, a Daring Escape, and the Making of Winston Churchill. That's the one I was looking for. Fantastic. Let me add that to my cart. Okay. Great. All right, let's get back to the game, shall we? Let's see here. So, following the end of the Great War, the British hold on India slipped away. As the collapse of the Raj started to build momentum and get worse and worse, Winston Churchill, who was moved to the region following the military fiasco that was the Gallipoli campaign, carved out his personal fiefdom from the ruins of the Raj, swearing to unify the continent under British rule. His policies have not been kind to the native Indian population, with hundreds of thousands dead, following crackdowns on movements for majority rule. As the regime becomes less and less popular, a decision will need to be made on the path that the United Provinces will take. So here we go. So this is us, and this is India. By the way, something I like is that it defaults to the white font, because the white font mod is broken right now for some reason. So anybody, if you watch my, what do you call it, Slavers campaign in Hearts of Iron 4 Balefire Blues, something goes really wrong when I try to put the white font mod on at some point. Okay, let's jump into it. So there's a lot going on in the Red Flood world. I was really interested in it from the start as soon as I heard about it, because of the philosophy of futurism being so prominent in it. And I studied futurism a bit in university, like in the context of its rise out of World War I and during and kind of before, during, and mostly after World War I. But it's such a fascinating bit of ideology and art to me. Let's see. Anyway, let's read the intro so we can have some context. Yeah. Anyway, I brought up the futurism and stuff. We're not going to really probably focus too much on what's going on in like Europe and things unless it affects us, because I just want to focus on India. Let's unite this, and you know, we could easily get lost in all the stuff that's going on out there. So let's get the world under context. In 1950, Russia achieved a Pyrrhic victory in the Russo-Japanese War. So if I remember correctly, that is the initial point of divergence, strengthening the monarchy until Tsar Nicholas II was assassinated in 1911. This set a chain of events in motion that led to World War I breaking out in 1913 after the Second Balkan War drew Austria-Hungary and Russia to blows. Where was I? The Triple Entente and Central Powers fought for years, but eventually the war fizzled out. The French army collapsed, Russia fell into chaos at the death of Tsar Alexei II, and Spartacist uprisings in Germany deposed the monarchy. Britain could only look on in horror as the continent tore itself apart. Its empire also grew increasingly unstable. In the east, Japan snatched up a colonial empire, overextending itself in the process. The United States, dismayed at the state of the world, doubled down on its isolationism. However, in the years since the end of the war, a new movement has swept the face of Europe. Accelerationism, which is kind of a subset brand of futurism. This highly artistic and chauvinistic political manifestation of extreme modernism emerged on the global scene after Italian radicals seized the city of Fiume in 1919. It has been a thorn in the side of Marxists, monarchists, and moderates alike ever since. The growth of accelerationism produced a crescendo in 1934 when, after decades of instability, France fell under the influence of its own accelerationist movement. Now the leader of the avant-garde state, Antonin Artaud, prepares France to bring the world into the future, kicking and screaming if it must. As the stars align once more, the stage is set for a new great war, one which will stain the world red. We hope you enjoy. So yeah, like I said, it's been a very long time since I've played this mod. By the way, the UI is quite different. Some of you will notice. I certainly did. Because like I said, I was going into this blind, but I did boot up the game, and I had like a different, because I had a lot of different sub mods that I was using. I just like to do things that clean up the map, and a lot of them weren't working. So I was just checking to see which ones worked and which didn't. Some of this shit needs to get updated yesterday. But so I did see this UI when I did it, but I haven't looked into anything. I haven't read the focus tree. I haven't done anything more than like just go forward a couple of days to make sure that the game doesn't crash. So yeah, as you can see, India is pretty broken up. But we've got like the Federal Republic, the Hindustan People's Democratic State, the Kingdom of Mysore, etc., etc. But who are we? We are here. We are here. We are the United Provinces, based around Lucknow in northern India, just bordering the Himalayas. So the text is a little bit small. The font does seem a little bit tiny, relative. But yeah, first things first, what you always want to do whenever you're playing a new country. Let's check out these national spirits. So we're dealing with the collapse of the Raj. The collapse of the British Raj has seen chaos and strife reign supreme in India as the princely realms have disintegrated and warlordism replace it. Famine, disease, conflict, and anarchy make mustering an army a challenge. We have brutal put-downs. As a result of the brutal and regular put-downs by our armies, the people have no faith in our government. We shall ensure that through force they understand who rules. So this hurts our stability by 15%. Recruitable population is down by 0.5%. The shadow of Gallipoli, even among those who join the army, the shadow of the failures of Gallipoli stalks their confidence. Churchill clearly is not the best leader, and this attitude permeates the NCOs and His Majesty's officers alike. Yeah, that's not good when you got officers and non-commissioned officers agreeing on something. Alone, unsupplied, and cut off, we are relying more and more on internal manufacture, and the high-quality elite infills our soldiers are used to are slowly being replaced by homegrown gun designs. Manufacturing problems aside, they're often nowhere near as well liked. Fonto Mom, oh, what did I just do? Here, look, you guys want to see the bigger map? Okay, we're going to do a tour of the bigger map. So this is the world. I guess I should zoom in on certain sections. So the United States pretty much looks the same, though the United Kingdom still has some chunks here. The current president is Andrew Mellon of the Republican Party. He's the one who's in charge. But the Republicans have abandoned him. I don't know a ton of what's going to go on here in the United States. I think that they have to be dealing with internal issues initially. So not much going on in North America. Brazil is the Popular Republic, which is a member of the Third Internationale under Filinto Muyer. Muyer, I think is how it's pronounced. Argentina, of course, has Agustin Pedro Justo in charge, because who else would be, right? This is like, I think, like an Indian... I could be wrong here, but I think that these guys are supposed to be like a nationalist futurist party. So they're not like Incan revivalists. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Tawatitsu. Yeah, see, the Tawantitsuyu, though, I think that might be referring to an older kingdom/empire that used to live in this area, but they were based in Bolivia. I think the Tawan, I think, were they called the Tawankutsu or something? Okay, so yeah, this is what Africa looks like. Pretty complicated situation because you have different nations in charge of the colonies and whatnot. So like right here, there's the Southwest African Protectorate, which is a part of the Greater Commonwealth of Nations. Actually, that's where I should start. I should talk about like who the major factions are. So basically, there's the Commonwealth of Nations, which is led by the United Kingdom. There's the Third Internationale, which is led by the Socialist Republic of Germany. Although there is a tiny little bit of Germany here that broke off. There's Prussia, essentially. But most of Germany is the Socialist Republic of Germany. Then there is the Avant-Garde France, which is in charge of the Ligue Solaire, which are basically the hardcore futurists. But let's see, who else am I forgetting? Yeah, Commonwealth of Nations, Ligue Solaire. Japan does not have its own faction. Okay, so what was I going to say? Ireland is part of the Commonwealth of Nations under Richard Mulcully. So no Michael Collins is here today. Spain is currently a republic. Oh yeah, right, Poland, duh. Yeah, Poland formed the Intermarium faction, so it's basically them. And then from the Black Sea to the Baltic Sea, they've got Ukraine, Belarus, and Lithuania in charge there. By the way, I'm doing this little tour of the world, but then we're going to be focusing on India, okay? Like, we really got to do that there. So there is the Russian Empire, which is currently under Alexander Kolchak, and they have lots and lots of... They're considered colonies, but yeah, basically tons and tons of local people in charge. So Yakutia, there's the Siberian government, you have... Yeah, just these various governates all over Russia. So like Finland is still part of it, but they're you know, they're like pseudo... What would be the term? And they're semi-autonomous, but they're definitely underneath Russia. What else is going on here? Yeah, this is a mess down here. There's like a Straits Commission in charge of Constantinople and the surrounding area. But then, like, you know, Greece got some of Anatolia back, going way back to the ancient days. And freaking... Italy also has some colonies here. United Kingdom still has Cyprus. The United Kingdom came... like, nobody won World War II. It just fizzled out. But, as the intro said, but the British kind of came out the best. Oh, yeah, there's Beta Israel here in Ethiopia. Yeah, there's a lot of cliques, of course, here in China. So, like... There's a Sun Chufang is here, Yan Jishan. A lot of this is like relatively close to real life, except there's just like more of them. Did I say World War II? I'm sorry, I meant to say World War I fizzled out. That's what I meant to say, my bad. Gregory Semyonov, who I'm going to be reading more about soon, because I picked up A People's Tragedy, which is an Orlando Figs book. I enjoy his writing, but he goes into this guy a bit. By the way, have you been noticing that the flags look like reels? You see that? They're kind of like GIFs. Okay, yeah, so that's oh yeah, Australia, how could I forget this? Westralia broke off. This is actually a real life thing. This did exist. This was proposed, not exist, but this was proposed, and they did in real life secede very briefly. Okay, so we don't have time to go over the entire goddamn map, though. You know, people are starting to ask me about more and more obscure areas. We're going to, yeah, focus on Churchill, figure out if we're going to keep Churchill. I haven't even looked at his tree. Let's finish going over the national spirits. Alone, unsupplied, and cut off. We did read that. Okay. So our laws, we currently have a volunteer-only army. Export focus, civilian economy. I'm also the head of government, so in addition to my portrait modifier, we're also losing daily political power gain from being a flamboyant brute, but that is giving us some stability and war support. More political power gain here, more political power gain there. Helps construction and production efficiency, more political power gain. Okay, so his cabinet is keeping things up. Harry Haig is here as our economy minister. Okay. Crane, I'm going to warn you, do not start spamming. Okay? Tread softly. Okay, let's start going through all of our stuff. So we have 3 research slots here. Very nice. What do we want to begin with? We've got engineers and nice rifles. Good. That's a good start. So I think obviously the key here is we've got to get our industry up and running better than the rest of India. We've got a fair amount of recruitable manpower, but it's India. Everybody has that. Okay. Do we want to do superior manpower? I don't even know if we're going to be able to get our industry up and running that much. What do we want to do? Maybe tanks. Churchill like tanks, right? Or barrels, we'll rename them. Possibly. Do we have motorized equipment already? Oh, that we do. Oh, you know what? We're going to need armored cars, I think. Because I'm sure we're going to be dealing with a lot of resistance along the way. So let's get that. Intelligence agency. We do not have enough factories to do that. We only have 1 civilian factory. RM says liberal Italy is ironically like. I don't even know what that means. Okay, so we have our 1 free civilian factory. I guess we should work on infrastructure until I think of something better. We've got some decisions here. We could do great speeches to increase our stability. What is this? Annexation events. Those are happening right now, obviously. Oh, there. Now RM finished his sentence, or her sentence. I don't know if RM's a boy or a girl. Okay, national focuses. So we're going to be pretty railroaded here at the beginning, but that's fine. That's kind of standard. Churchill's horror. The memories of... Oh, there's his face in there. Wow. The memories of Churchill's failures hang heavy on his head. Will tonight be another sleepless night? Will tonight be another tossing and turning in agony? Maybe there's something to help in the cabinet. Like the political cabinet? And then... Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh. The liquor cabinet. Yeah, Churchill was drunk. Big time drunk. I like that play on words, Jack. Looks like Churchill will find some luck now. So one thing I want to do, though, is I want to kind of peek ahead here. So it looks like steady as he goes. Churchill doesn't change the ways. Old British values, we democratize the country. Or we could do a night in the library. We're going to strengthen the reign. So I might have y'all vote on that. But where do we get the stuff where we're actually going to start going, invading people? Okay, so if we go here, we could attack Delhi, we could attack West Bengal, so we definitely have an expansionist route here. Now, if we do steady as she goes, when do we start attacking? Gas the Indians. Goodness gracious. Yeah, because we have used chemical weapons before. This way we start going west, radical solution. Okay. Over here, old British values. Yeah, and by the way, when we do the vote, it might be a runoff. That's if I do it. English system, English votes, universal male suffrage, controlled parties, limits on dissent, Anglo-Indian democracy, Churchill campaigns. What is this? Let's see. We must campaign hard to ensure that people understand that Churchill was not responsible for the crimes of the army. It was peaceful, calm, and has always wished for peace in India. That's pretty wholesome. Wholesome. I think after the shit we've been going through in Burgundy, that might be a good idea. On the other hand, Churchill dictatorship. What's up with that? Okay, eventually it looks like we can open up trade with India, or excuse me, with the United Kingdom once we get a port again. The election. Oh, do we never... Can we not... So, okay, I'm not seeing anything that necessarily expands us here, but then it says get an event called the election, so maybe that's going to open up a new part of the focus tree, because that's been a thing, and a lot of modders have been taking advantage of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually like it. Let's see here. Maybe we could... I think what we're going to want to do maybe is... Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll definitely make a save file before I... We'll do a save file before I choose a path, just in case, like, it turns out if we go democratic, we never, ever can expand or something. Actual expansion happens too late. I suggest justifying in a small nation at the start. That's what I was thinking too, because yeah, some of this stuff, even though they're not full 70-day focuses, this is going to take a while. I don't know who we'd go after first. It said that we can go after Delhi and we can go after Bengal. So, I don't know. We might go here for the no, not them. Maybe go like, oh, these guys surround us. Oh, that could have been nasty. Good thing I noticed that now. Maybe we'll go after the Federal Republic, or no, West Bengal. Oh no, that's not the one. Yeah, Bengal's over there. Do we have it? I think maybe we could go after Hindustan. They got a decent sized army though. Maybe Nepal is the way to go. Small army, lure them in, cut them off, take it. So how much are we going to need? We need a little bit more political power. Let's see. Left path. Oh, hey, Hendway! Hendway. I know that name. Hendway. Aren't you like one of the few other people besides Pravis and I who do Equestria at War? Or wait, no, I'm sorry. Don't tell me. Look it up. Ah, Hendway. How do I know Hendway? Let's see here. What of your stuff? Oh wait, didn't you some time ago do a United Emirate run? You did a video of that. Yes, I'm looking it up now. Jabal Shamar forms the United Arab Emirates. Yeah, that was you. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, welcome to the chat. Anyway. Let's see. So we might do wholesome democracy, but we'll do a vote on it later. So let's see. We have a lot of unassigned divisions here. They're all the same template. Who's in our army here? Reginald Dyer, who is an unyielding defender. Okay, not bad, not bad. Could be good for holding when we press with something else. We got Jack Churchill here. This is the guy who wielded a sword through World War II. But I think Francis Tucker's the way to go, even though he's not a level 3, because he's our infantry officer. Let's actually take a look at what this template is. So, 12 artillery's in it, engineers. I've definitely seen worse. We could definitely work with that. Okay. Let's get rid of this teal, though. I'm not a fan of that. Okay. Yeah. Why is it saying decisions are available? Annexation events have been tenuously added to Red Flood. Unfortunately, due to the sheer number of countries and their related annexation events, many bugs are bound to surface. As such, this feature has been disabled by default. If you want to turn it on, be aware that it is highly experimental. Of course, we appreciate any and all feedback on this feature to ensure a bug-free, smoother feature. So is this like in Kaiserreich, where whenever you annex a nation, you get the choice to puppet them or not? Okay. So we're going to turn that off. We'll try it in a different Red Flood game if I do another one sometimes. Okay, so how about we unpause the game now that we're a half hour in officially? What do we think? Let's try that. Let's try that. It wouldn't be a Conquering History game without it. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to turn that off for right now, because if they say it's buggy, let's leave that be. I guess I could maybe open the polling now for what direction we want Churchill to go in. And I could just then repost it in the chat later. You guys, we're only 10 away from funny sex number amount of viewers. Alright, let's go. Oh, that's good. I like that. How it goes a little splotched at the end there. Okay, let's get justifying. No, we need 46 more political power. I knew that that didn't sound right. I haven't gotten that bug in Balefire Blues. Something else happened in Balefire Blues, and you guys will see it, I think, in Part 8. I like some of the colors here. There we go. Now some events are starting. Dearest Lord of the Admiralty, Duke Winston Churchill, I hope this letter finds you in ill health. Because of your choices in the battles of Gallipoli, I have lost 3 children. Joshua, oh wait, they lost 3 kids, so these are probably, this is probably like a working class dude. I hope this letter finds you in ill health. Because of your choices in the battles of Gallipoli, I have lost 3 children. Joshua, Frank, and Harvey lay not in their beds, warm and safe, but under the dunes of the Turkish lands because of you. I understand that war will result in death, and when my boys went to war, I was perhaps naive in believing they would all return safe. But as more details of the blunders that led to their demises emerged, as your buffoonery and incompetence became more clear, I realize now they would be 1,000 times better in Europe, in Erps. Okay, there's so much arguing on how this is pronounced. I'm going to go with Erps, or the Somme, then under your command in the Dardanelles. I know now that their fights were preventable. If only they had been sent to East Africa against the Iscari, or if they'd found themselves knee-deep in the mud of France. How pitiful that I wish for them to have suffered so, for otherwise they would not have died. Perhaps they could have done many great things. I know that Harvey always enjoyed cooking. Perhaps he was his company's infield chef before the shells fell. Perhaps there are poems lost in those dunes that my Joshua wrote. I don't know. Now, may you never again sleep peacefully, for I have not. Yours, Mary Williamson. God damn it! Ah! It was a woman writing! Ah! Oh, that was an Equestria War moment. That happens to be all the time in Equestria War, where I misgender the person writing or whatever. Yeah. Hey, Churchill, simple as. Yeah, there. Does anybody remember when I found that comic and I put it in the community tab where it's going like, Captain Garnell was the most respected fleet officer in the Imperial Space Navy, and it's just like, basically as you read, it's just somebody reading a book, and initially they imagine this grizzled old veteran, and then by the end, she's like this young woman because like she's the youngest officer in the fleet, and turns out she's a she, and then it's just like, oh shit, okay, but then the final thing is like, Captain Gantz picked up the phone to speak to her superior, and then she gets an anime face and goes, konnichiwa, Captain Gantz, tetsu. And the guy's going, what the fuck am I reading? So, dated January 3rd, 1920, Churchill took another long swig of whiskey and tried to fold it up, throw it in the fire, as he had some few other letters of its type, and yet he could not. Let's see here. Are the smudges from her tears or his? He does not remember. Triple Eight Alpha Bull says, God damn it, I come in here and hear anime, time to drink. How Churchill of you. Okay, whiskey soda, whiskey sour, whiskey straight, as long as it dulls the memories. Memory. Oh shoot, we have no military factories. That's a problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's an issue. That is an issue. CHG is officially canceled. Why am I canceled? What did I do? Oh, well. Well, it's my understanding that when you get canceled, you just get bitched about on Twitter for a week, and then if even a week, and then you move on. You can actually commit horrible crimes and get away with it because people are like, yeah, we got him on Twitter. Like, about last year, like, speaking of, the accelerationists have taken Madagascar. Oh my. Jean-Joseph Rabavia. So, like, yeah, there was this thing, where last year, a lot of the British professional wrestling scene came under fire. Basically, tons of awful things were coming out. But everybody started to treat things equally. And, like, I'm not going to start naming names, but, like, there were some people who were being accused of, like, being serial rapists for years and years on end, and other ones, like, just said, like, you know, something anti-woman, just said something sexist. And it was all being treated with equal weight. And it's just, okay, some of these people need a stern talking to. Some of these people need to be in jail, and, like, they're all getting treated equally right now. So anyway, so basically the moral of the story is if you're gonna get canceled, make sure you did something really, really awful, so you know you could then just get canceled and it wipes it all away. It's like, you know, when you go to confession, it just wipes all the sins clean, and So anyway, let's not get off topic. I shouldn't talk about cancellation on the internet because then we're gonna be here all day. So anyway, it has become a... Alright, let's see who wrote this first. Okay, this is an official letter. This is from, like, the king or something. It has become apparent that due to the shortcomings in strategy and lack of results, that Sir Winston Churchill, Lord of the Admiralty, is deeply incompetent. After repeated mistakes in the assault on the Dardanelles, including the complete misjudging of the situation regarding mines, the safety of the soldiers to land, and the lack of artillery support provided, despite no less than 5 battleships being within firing range, resulting in nearly 100,000 casualties within the first 4 days. Oh my god, I think it was much worse in this one. In this way, no. How many people died at Gallipoli in our World War? Gallipoli. It wasn't 100,000 in the first 4 days. I'll tell you that much. Pretty sure it wasn't. Okay, so in the real Gallipoli campaign, in our timeline, there were. Then again, there's casualties refers to both wounded and killed. But, yeah, oh my god, are you guys telling me that wrestling is scripted? I didn't know that it was the year 1909 and that was news. So, anyway, like, have you guys ever seen that, Onion article where the guy gets a thrill up his spine every time he tells people who like, the Beatles that John Lennon beat his first wife? So, like, that's how I just feel like whenever somebody says, you know, it's like, you like wrestling? This is how I imagine their inner monologue. I'm about to rock his world. And then he goes, you know it's fake, right? It's just, oh, damn, dude, you just rocked me. You just rocked me to my core. So anyway, in the real-life Gallipoli campaign, it looks like about 31,000 people and change died. No, that was just British. Okay, if you include the French casualties, about 60,000 of the Entente forces died. Somebody catch Ace up, please. And in total, there was about 200, a little under 200,000 in terms of casualties from disease, wounded, etc. Okay. Okay. So let's read this letter. Within the first 4 days of landing, the only course that could be reasonably seen that Churchill is a liability in this role. Attached to the back was the official letter telling Winston in plain terms that there was little more that could be said, and that the king has officially revoked his role as Lord of the Admiralty. This, he thought, was a memento mori. Not for himself, no. The skull on his table, its phrenological markings, a newer addition to the dusty thing, was reminder enough of looming death. This was the death memory of a career which flung itself into wild adventures it was not ready for. He would never, never repeat the mistake of Gallipoli, never again send men into the fray without deep, careful consideration. Assuming he could actually get out of this damned place. Walter says I have to lose the war to save the Indian peasants from Churchill. That would be some serious role play. Like if you play as the United Provinces and attack like the Federal Republic or whatever and just lose, because that'd be like playing Baraya in another mod and just deliberately killing yourself or something. He hasn't smelt the salt of the sea or even the stink of fish in years. He's almost forgotten the coast. Perfect song for this. Letters from Home. Perfect. So, I don't know what we're going to do about these factories. We're in a tough situation here. So we got to make do with what we got. Now I'm wondering if we really should be attacking Nepal. It's going to chew up some of our rifles. On the other hand, they might have factories. Where do I check that? They've got 5 factories, including 2 military ones. Okay, that alone makes it worth it. That's funny that mocking voice I made, people are assuming that I was impersonating Redditors, which is really funny to me. I don't like Redditors, so that's really funny. Okay, like people hear the, don't you know wrestling's fake? Maybe you'd know that if you were a part of Reddit, the most intellectual community on the internet. It's kind of a secret thing. You probably haven't heard of it. So, I love how Redditors like to act like they're in some secret intellectual club when isn't Reddit like the second most used website on the internet? Anyway, so I did a thing once where I was here's like speaking of Redditors, I did a thing last year where I watched every single Studio Trigger anime. It was just a personal project I wanted to do because I've seen a lot of their stuff and I liked it, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and watch everything they've ever made. So just to kind of compare them, see what's similar, see what's different. And, oh shoot, I'm trying to find something. Here we go. So when I was watching the shows, and again, this was just like a personal project, I had a little document on my computer where I would just kind of type up notes when I was done, where I would just write like, okay, what were the good things about this show? What were the bad things? Who would like it? Who wouldn't like it? Yeah, Studio Trigger's going to do a cyberpunk anime, and it's going to come out next year. And they've done cyberpunk style before. That's what Ninja Slayer was. Churchill's Isolation. Anyway, so anyway, I ended up like posting them. Like I like kind of just like sent them to my friends. It's like, hey, these are animes that I watch. Here's ones you might be interested in. I'll let you read the third letter, and then I'm going to read something from one of the reviews that I wrote. Because they were just a few sentences each mostly, but there was one where I kind of went on a rant. So, third letter. Lord Winston Churchill, with regards to your placement within the government of Britain, a question we have received 3 separate times, not to mention the letters we have thrown away. Sending us 15 letters will not make the post office faster, Winston. It has been decided that you are not a total persona non grata. Instead, you shall be given a place in the colonies of the British Empire. You may, if you wish, accept a position in the British Raj as the governor of the province of Lucknow. The rest of the letter wasn't terribly important. It was, however, everything to Churchill. Looking at it all, looking at where his life went, accepting a role in India, after Kurdistan, after Gallipoli, after so much death, destruction, and horror wrought in the name of the British Empire. He was still willing to use him somewhere. Perhaps this was a good sign, or perhaps they understood the impending collapse of the Raj and hoped he would die in the ensuing fights. But he had kept a stiff upper lip and survived, and he would keep doing so. Blood, blood everywhere. Every drop stains his mind until he is red as a cardinal and as dour as any butcher. Okay, so I'm gonna read this anyway. So this was I was talking about this this one anime that Studio Trigger did called When Supernatural Battles Become Commonplace. So this is actually an interesting anime because it's the only anime they ever did that's not an original story. It's like based on a light novel, and it's my understanding that they did it because they needed some money early on. So anyway, it's pretty goofy. It's very Shinobi or Shinobiyu humor. And so I wrote, okay, so who would not like this anime? And so this is what I wrote. It's the longest thing I wrote in any of my reviews. People who would hate watching this. Quote, smug pseudo-intellectuals. Those kinds of people who speak of loving science and technology, but remember nothing from their science classes, haven't stepped foot in a science museum since the 5th grade class field trip, and would never even actually sit down to watch a science documentary series. Those kinds of people that want Elon Musk to be president and save us all. Those kinds of people who see Reddit as the most intellectual community on the internet. Those kind of people, they would hate this show. Oh, man. Let's see here. What's next? Sir, you need to get out of the house, or sir, I think you need to stop drinking. Some worrywarts think that Churchill needs to restrict himself. They should loosen up. Hey, we're having a good time. Let's see. What have we got here? Mechanical computing, yes. Oh, shoot, we have enough political power now. We can start justifying on Nepal. So let's do that. Also, let me make a save file here. Let's see here. Okay, ignore the save files that you see here. That's an abandoned campaign. Let's see here. Churchill Nepal War just. Okay. We're going after Nepal because I think it'll be good to have a base in the mountains, something we could fall back on, but seriously, we need factories. Let's see. Civil War breaks out in the east. Armed revolutionaries have begun a struggle against the imperial government. Revolutionary France! I'm trying to think if there's any other mod besides this one where France could... not France, but Japan is what I meant to say. Revolutionary Japan, where Japan can actually go communist. Now, the communists were a thing in Japan, but mostly in every mod I've ever seen, they just kind of rabble-rouse and cause problems, but they can never actually take charge. What's the name of the show that Redditors would hate again? It's called When Supernatural Battles became commonplace. When Supernatural Battles became commonplace. Really fun show. It's like a sitcom. It's like, I think it's the only, yeah, it's the most, I guess you could say, derivative of Studio Trigger's work, but Studio Trigger shines because they're doing, oh, I probably should say what the synopsis is. So, the concept of the show, When Supernatural Battles Became Commonplace, is there's these members of a high school literature club, and they get superpowers. but then their lives don't change. It just stays normal because there's not like an evil power or any organization to fight. So they're just now high schoolers with superpowers. So the main story, though, is that so there's one guy in there, and he's like, it's not a harem anime. It's in fact, although there is slight hints of romance in there, but it's very wholesome. Anyway, so the point of the driver of the story is that he's really, what do you call, I think the Japanese term is a chinibyu. He's chuny. He's got like 8th grader syndrome. He does like really, I guess, what you guys would call cringy things, and it's just him interacting with the other ones. And then the superpowers that they have are just played for comedy. So it's like just a sitcom. So anyway, concerned maid, Sir, a maid of Indian blood, entered his room with his morning tea and whiskey soda. Where once it was called mouthwash for its tiny amount of whiskey, it was now as much whiskey as it was soda. Some days, he just wanted it undiluted. So incidentally, have you guys ever heard of the cocktail known as a Churchill? So it's a certain way of making a martini. The way that I've always read it and heard of it described is like to make a Churchill Martini, because people get really, really defensive and angry about how to mix their martinis. At least my experience, like, no, you got to use vodka, not gin, or no, this is how much vermouth you need to have, or no, this is how you put the lemon zest in, or whatever. Just all sorts of things like that. People get passionate about it. Anyway, so the freaking he's a Redditor, the 14-year-old, and no, he's not a Redditor at all. He's actually great. He's a very funny guy. To make a Churchill Martini, you now you see most martinis you mix it with vermouth, which is a French liquor. It's like I forget actually what a vermouth is like, but it's French in origin. So you like might have like 3 parts of gin, 1 part vermouth, things like that. So a Churchill Martini is where you fill it to the brim with the gin, and then you look in the direction of France, and that's how much vermouth you get. Anyway, so he's a drinker. Let's see.
Enter,
Mumbled Churchill.
believe it by the bread.
He gestured to his side, where he had scarcely woken up before having his breakfast. Of the few perks this post had, getting breakfast in bed was an undeniable one. He picked up the crystal glass, swirled it around, pretending to care about taste and smell, before gulping down the drink. The maid watched, her mouth agape in horror at the wreck of a man before her.
Well, do you have something to say?
He growled, noticing her worry. Well, sir, I don't mean to be rude. He waited. She waited. The air felt tight, like before a battle, before the first shot was fired. But the maids and I have wondered if you could ease back on the alcohol. It can't be helped that... A solid half-pound of crystal glass smashed into her eye. She let out a scream, blood screaming from her split eyelash. She curled up against the wall, trying to fight tears, while Churchill roared at her like a hell beast unleashed.
I couldn't give less of a damn what the help wants. Give me some more fucking whiskey.
Okay, well, that didn't go well. Probably not as well as she thought it would. Okay, sir, you need to get out of the house. Who cares if he's pallid? He's a grown man. His choice, damn it. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah. So what I was saying, so that when supernatural battles became commonplace, it's very fun, it's very cute. Kind of the major problem with it is that it's there's no ending to it, because it was just they only got contracted to do a single season, and then I think the visual novel itself never really picked off, or light novel, whatever the hell it was based off, didn't really pick up. And it's my understanding that the novel didn't even finish, and besides, there's no English translations of it anyway. But if you just want a fun sitcom, it's a very good show. It's comfy, you know? We're gonna need wholesome liberal Italy after this just to cleanse the palate. Man, maybe I should make myself a hottie toddy to role play. You know, have some gin and tea while we play. But no. I got things to do today. Okay, a concerned soldier. Sir! He was saluted as he walked through his library once more. He turned to the soldier, a young Englishman, no more than 20. Good, solid stock, broad-shouldered and large chest. The kind of person he knew could be counted on to do the right thing when the natives got rowdy. His Enfield Martini, one of the better rifles someone could get in this godforsaken, sun-blasted hell, was clean and well-maintained. A model soldier. Churchill gave a half-hearted salute back. I must remind you, sir, as you requested me to do, that there will be a military parade in the courtyard, and while my place is not to judge nor command, sir, I must insist on behalf of Colonel Randall that you attend. Son would do you good, he said. Sir. Churchill paused for a moment, looking over the guard. Frowning, he asked the man for his name. Sir, I'm Private George Stentham.
The private? Let me tell you something, young man. That you are never to speak to me of such matters again. He spat.
Sir, I am merely...
Yes, I know. You're following orders. Let me give you new ones. Get your pale, unbloodied ass out onto the streets of Lucknow for a day. Then you'll know why I don't go outside. Tell your commander you are dismissed from the guard and to be reassigned to military police. My orders.
But, sir...
Go! And don't come back until you've had to crack someone's head open.
Let's see here. That could have been worse. That definitely could have gone worse for the private.
It's like, let me ask you something, soldier. Have you ever had a Lucknow whore?
Oh, God! Let's see here. Churchill's contemplation. Maybe he can't go on like this. There should be something more to life for a duke's son. Yeah, Churchill was descended from one of the great military generals of European history, Marlborough. I think it was Marlborough. Wait, was he descended from Marlborough or Eugene? I think it was Marlborough. Let me look that up. Okay. Let's see here. There was Marlborough Churchill, who was related to Churchill, but no, I'm looking for the other one. Yes, John Churchill. Yeah, who Winston Churchill actually wrote about. Dominated the 9 Years' War, spouses, children, parents. Imperialist, significant figure. I don't know. Oh yeah, so anyway, so yeah, the when supernatural battles became commonplace, so like all the high schoolers get like superhero powers. So for example, there's one who has the ability to create, and they're like so overpowered superpowers too. Like one of them, she gets the ability to be able to create anything. Others can manipulate time, and then the guy who's the main character, because like it's all about his interactions with the other members of the club. He has a power, but it'll like kill him, so he can't use it at all, and so everybody else gets superpowers but him. But he's the one who wanted the powers in the first place and stuff like that. All right. Japan falls to revolution. The revolution in Japan is victorious. Against all odds, the upstart naval rebellion has resulted in the total collapse of Asia's only native hegemon. The Civil War is over, and as the remaining imperials flee to the former colonies and elsewhere, the reconstruction begins at home. There are still unresolved factional issues among the revolutionaries themselves, however. Wow, leftists are splitting? And they will no doubt shape their foreign policy going forward. This will no doubt. Is Asia in store for a new brand of red imperialism or a new, more gentle hand from China? The Reds advance evermore. Oh, he's so happy. Am I talking about My Hero Academia? No, I'm not talking about basic bitch stuff. I'm sorry, I've never seen My Hero Academia. But it's my understanding, like, I don't know, I think I've I've watched my share of shonens. I'm sure it's good, but like every generation has its shonens, and I've watched mine. Anyway, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna get some more tea. Just be less than a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, it took a little longer than I thought. I had to heat up the water again. I hope it's hot enough. Yeah. Let's see here. So, Revolutionary France. Did Red Flood make the Japanese Southern Isles bigger on the map? Did they? I don't know. I haven't really played Japan in any version of Hearts of Iron 4 in ages. I don't know. Okay, so what were we going to do? Oh yeah, keep going through this depression stuff. Let's see here. I don't know if I don't know if I made this hot enough. Hopefully it's just right, the amount. Okay, night in the library. The raindrops fell. Oh, there's a famine in Zeltorossia. Thoughts and prayers. The raindrops splashed furiously on the floor, the only sound in the otherwise silent palace.
Maybe the rain would help me think,
thought a disoriented and drunken Churchill looking through the window. The old viceroy was baffled. He was sure that he went to the library for something, but he couldn't remember what it was. Maybe he just went to grab a book? Some of the old wisdom from Smith could be useful to put the Raj back on track. Maybe some of the classics from Shakespeare would be helpful to alleviate his insomnia. Maybe he just went to drink a whiskey in his comfy chair? Well, he could drink, and had drank, on every chair in the house. Or maybe he just went to take a look at the reports over his table since he had nothing to do. Anything was possible at that point.
But I think I should go to bed,
decided Churchill. The loud noises of his slippers on the carpet from his heavy feet filled him with a feeling of ennui. He felt like each one of his 61 years was coming to him with every step. The old man wished to recover that enthusiasm he had when he proposed that foolish Gallipoli operation. Even the most resonating of failures would fill him with more life than his current depressing situation. Did I lose control of my life? Okay, now what? Churchill has seen 3 possible paths ahead. Which one shall he go down? I think, I don't think we're going to put this to a vote. I think we're going to try to do wholesome democratic values. Although we could just, I don't know. Maybe we're like, fuck England. We're going to do our own thing. I don't know. Or, I don't know. Yeah, but no, we'll put it to a vote. We'll do a runoff as well. How democratic of me. Ooh, did you guys hear that? My stomach was growling. Alright, Churchill path. Let's do democratic. Steady as she goes. Or strengthen Churchill. Okay. Gee, I wonder if this will be one of those famous moments where people democratically vote for authoritarianism, like in every Hearts of Iron 4 poll I ever do. Alright, so it's in the chat. Go, go, go. You see, and then people vote for authoritarianism in these live streams, and then I decide to do something without putting it to a vote, and then the chat goes, no, Conquering History Games, not like that, no! We didn't think our voices would be silenced. Yeah, anyway, the poll is in the chat. Get voting. Okay, there, cool. My tea has been steeped. What's my favorite type of tea? Let me think here. I don't know. I don't have as much different types of tea as I used to. I probably could have answered that pretty quickly back in the day. You know what? You know what's something I like to do, though, when I want, like... I remember I tried it once. When was the last time I tried it? About a year ago, actually. I should make it again. I made like a turmeric tea. That was extremely filling. It was like I had a meal. Stuff. Everyone talks about 1984, but Brave New World is just as relevant. They are 2 very different dystopian novels, but yeah, I think Brave New World should get more recognition, definitely. But Brave New World is harder to hashtag, I guess, when you got banned from a Discord. Like, oh my god, I got banned from the Discord just because I said that the... Who was here when I told you about it? I got that text from a friend of mine in a company. A co-worker of his said, and this is a quote, this is not me saying it, so I'm going to break the quote up. He said, quote, "The Holocaust didn't," stop quote, resume quote, "happen, it was faked," unquote. And then the next part of it said, look at the poll. Holy crap, the poll! Oh my god, it's 100% right now. Keep voting, y'all. I'll keep putting it in the chat. Only a very small percentage of people have voted so far, but... wow. 100% in a 3-way race. That's amazing. But, gosh, what was I saying? I'll just say the whole thing. So anyway, his coworker said that the Holocaust didn't happen. It wasn't real. It was fake. And even if it did happen, who cares? So yeah, like people get banned from Discords or whatever for saying something like that, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's literally 1984. Where's the freedom of speech like would have been in my Nazi Germany that I like so much? Oh my god." Okay, I guess nobody else is voting. Okay, then let's get moving. Wow. That's pretty fucking cool. Like, if anything had gotten 100%, that's amazing. So, with 100% of the vote, we are going to be doing Democratic Churchill. I would also like to point out that less than a third of the chat voted. Yeah, literally Atlas Shrugged. Yeah, we should just start saying literally just any book instead of 1984. It's like, wow, this is literally To Kill a Mockingbird. So, and here, I'll show the proof. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the poll. There it is, 100%. Ah! Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off! Okay. Well, that was awkward. Hold on. Okay. Live stream. There, it's back. Okay, so, Churchill's choice. It's clear now, after many bottles, after many cigars, after lively, debate, not a small amount of requests, he sleep it off. Churchill had seen there was only 3 paths left for him. 4 if you count shoving a gun down my throat and pulling the trigger. But, as that is off the table, 3 it is. First, he can go forward as he had before, attempt to contact Britain. It would require just a little bit of shoving people out of the way, but it is entirely possible. He could do it. Just get past those socialists, warlords, and Bihar and taste the salt of the sea once more. Yes, yes, he could do that. He could do that. Next. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's see here. Next, he could double down, become worse. If the Indians are already putting up posters declaring his monsterhood, then he could very well become a monster. Post-suicide Ghost Churchill playthrough win, yeah. Order at all costs. Order in all times. Reunite the provinces of India. Form a new Raj, one that could last 1,000 years as long as Britain, until every trace of this disgusting continent is gone and all that is left is a Britain he loves. Or he could be a politician again. The warlord life never suited him. No, he loves democracy too much. He loves freedom too much. Can you guys hear my stomach? Oh my gosh. Introduce reforms. Install a new electoral system. He will create a new Raj. Through peace. If he creates a new Raj, it could be with words, not weapons. Which way forward? Which way? So if it turns out Democratic me can't expand, then we'll come back to this, alright? So I'm going to make a save file. And then we'll do another poll between the other 2 things, you know. Let's see here. Save the game. Alright. Churchill decision. Oop. JDog265 says the poll was bugged. Oh yes, yes. Stop the count. Stop the steal. I've heard it all before. I work for the post office, bro. I've heard it all. I'll bring order to this shithole no matter the cost. There's the alert. Thank you very much, though, for the super chat. Perhaps I should abandon these tyrannical ways.
Gentlemen, Britain is defined by democracy. It is defined by its commitment to the liberty of all. We shall turn these united provinces into an inspiration for all India. Gentlemen, we shall be democracy manifest.
Hey, Advisor Carl, maybe we could get through this campaign first, you know? Let's get moving. I showed you guys the poll. So it looks like the 2 things that we're gonna have to fight mainly are the Bharatvarsh state and the Federal Republic of India under Chandra Bose. So, gosh, I really am tempted to do some tanks, but we don't have factories right now. Let's start researching tanks once we have factories. How about that? Uh-huh. All right. Oh. So, incidentally, in terms of when this poll is going to end, it's probably it's not a hard stop time, but probably about 40 more minutes. The United Anti-Japanese Front is going hard right now. So, I guess we're just waiting for something to happen now. Also, when's the war with Nepal going to start? Hold on. The war with Nepal will start December 1st. Nice. Okay. So we've got 5 months to go. Yes, Churchill realized I have been messing up. In India, I'm here for a reason. I need to blow my nose. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. I really gotta blow my nose. Okay. I'm back now. I'm back. Yes, Churchill realized I have been messing up. In India, I am here for a reason. That reason, he reasoned, was not to dole death and chaos out to an unruly population. No, the Indians were merely uneducated, untaught, uncouth people. And people like that couldn't be too terribly different from the impoverished smoggies his fellows would court for election. No, if he was making any mistake, it was that these Indians were yearning to... Oh, gosh. Breathe free. Oh, gosh. Yearning for democracy and peace. And above everything, the old values he once held as a British citizen. As a British politician. Yes, indeed, what these Indians needed was not the firm hand of dictatorship, but the gentle, paternal hand of a democracy. Now, the form that democracy would take and how much say the Indians would actually have. A brilliant idea, sir. Does this mean you won't be sloshed all the time? I don't like that lip, boy. So, we now have democratization. But it's we're going to now start giving it effects. Ooh, form a parliament for political power gain. Yes. We shall form a parliament, of course composed of our loyal members, but we shall allow others to run in the upcoming elections. We just need people to run the country in the meantime. Alright. That was a dad level sneeze. I don't even know what that means. So, while we're killing time between events, would anybody like me to read any other of my anime reviews I made for Studio Trigger shows? Just name one and I'll read it. I think I covered them all. I've got it open in the other monitor here. I might be missing one or two. I'd have to find the document for it. Alright. Technocracy gang. So how many different Indias are there? Let's get a count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this? That's Portugal. I'm not going to count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 Indias if we're counting Nepal. Read my Kill la Kill review. CHG, are you watching Attack on Titan? No, I saw the first season, and the only words I have for it is that it was aggressively mediocre. I've heard it improves, but I just didn't want to sink the time in. Okay, so keep in mind that all of my reviews are really short. These were basically just little notes that I took in order to send to my friends if they were interested in certain animes. Ceylon is not part of India. Lies! Still, we're looking at over a dozen different Indias we're going to have to unite, so that's cool. Okay, make a review of their upcoming cyberpunk anime. Well, that's not coming out until like 2022, I think. The next anime that's coming out is there's going to be another a new SSSS anime that I think is coming out next month, starting next month. There's no Muslim India state. It's not any of these? Yeah, who's this Muhammad Iqbal? Surely he's a Muslim. Young democratic values. Does this guy have his own? Oh no, they have a descriptor for him, but he doesn't have his tree yet. Any news on the Kaiserreich dating sim? I don't know. It's 17. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Bharatavashra is split in half. It's awkward. So, yeah, we'll look up Kill la Kill. So I could talk about Kill la Kill all day, but I'm just going to read my short thing that I wrote for my friends. So, I have, like, different categories. So, Kill la Kill. Suggested anime to watch before viewing. Gurren Lagann. Parentheses. Same director. Close parentheses. Any transforming magical girl anime. Pros. Show is high energy as hell. Very unique and varied OST. For example, includes songs in 3 different languages. Excellent character design throughout. Fantastic voice acting. Signature Studio Trigger action at its peak. Consistent and ever escalating badassery throughout. Nice amount of comedy peppered throughout as well. Oh, the Ugandan commune has just declared war on the United Kingdom. Let's see how that goes. Let's see. So it's the green against... Okay, so everything that's red, they're at war with right now. Let's see. We'll see how... It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for them. Okay. Cons for Kill la Kill. Animation style is not for everyone. Some people interpret characters in different ways, which can have mixed results and perceptions. Some plot directions are seen as forced or subpar by some, particularly in the second half. Skip the opening or ending songs. The ending songs are skippable, OPs are too hyped to skip. Who would like watching this? Chads. People who like shonen boss fight tropes. People into thematic duality and the Hegelian dialectic. Who would not like watching this? Virgins, prudes, coomers who wouldn't be able to follow the story because they were too busy being coomers. Rewatch value. Tons of it. So as you see, it's just like they're very, very brief reviews. You know, it's almost like something you can fit on an index card. We can get a United States of India from Kashmir. Think so, yeah. What are my thoughts on Legend of the Galactic Heroes, the new thesis? I was so excited when that was coming out. Like I can't even express how excited I was. Oh, we can get rid of the brutal put-downs. Yeah, that hurts my stability. So let's do here. Form a civilian court. For years, we have solely existed on the military courts, hidden, quick, and often ending in rifles at dawn. It is time to give true justice to the people of India. Yeah, let's do that, because that's going to give us 10, and then this is going to give us 15 back. That's very good. This is going to spike our stability big time. So, I was so incredibly excited for Legend of the Galactic Heroes, the new thesis, but once it started to come out, first off, the music's fantastic. You know, that opening is so good. But... like, there were some animation problems. Some of the character designs were really weird, particularly in secondary characters. But it just, yeah, some of them they really turned me off. It was just, like, really hideous. Also, I kind of felt that the show as a whole, the dialogue, the level of intellect in it was like, way down. Is this a Goya work? Here lies half of Spain. It died of the other half. Big super event. Wow. Check that portrait out. Yeah, but anyway, basically, while the show was the new thesis was cool because it had the updated budget, so you could do more with like the space battles and stuff. I eventually turned it off. I want to say about 20 episodes in, because it just felt like it was the show was speaking to me like I was an idiot, and I didn't appreciate that. Something that's on my bucket list is I one day want to do an episode-by-episode review of the entirety of the original Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and the intro movies, of course. Gintama, never seen it. I've heard it's great. I've heard it's very good deconstruction, quite hilarious, but I've never seen it myself. Mashrik. So yeah, anybody else? Give me another studio anime so I can read my little synopsis things. Yeah, here's a fun fact some of you may not know. Have you ever seen that video, why you should watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes? That was actually me. I was the one who made that on a different channel. Many years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago now. So I'm a big fan. I think we are gonna do Superior Firepower. Yeah. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do Gurren Lagann was Gainax, not Studio Trigger. I do want to one thing actually, my kind of current project, I guess you could say, except for when the new SSSS comes out, but I'm going to start it today. Is I want to go through a certain lineage of some of the Studio Gainax stuff. Studio Gainax's whole anime thing is way too big to watch all of it, but I basically want to watch the, I guess for lack of a better word, the Gurren Lagann legacy runs, or like the ones that are in that style. So, for example, I want to go through like I've already watched some of the things that Gainax began with, like their Daikon videos. You can find those on YouTube. But I want to watch Gunbuster. So I'm actually going to watch it all later today because it's only 6 episodes. And I've got the day off, and I wanted to relax with that as much as you can relax with Gurren with that. Hold on, I want to do Great Speech. Nah. But, like, I want to watch Gunbuster, Diebuster, Gurren Lagann, Fooly Cooly, like rewatch, like, you guys get what I'm saying? Like, that lineage and stuff with Anno. I don't know if I'm going to rewatch Evangelion, though. Not that I hate it or anything, but it's very divisive for me. Yeah, it is. That is Gurren Lagann. The Gurren Lagann is amazing. It's a modern-day classic. It was pretty much an instant classic. When did it come out? 2007? But it's amazing. It's amazing. I think we're losing viewers because I'm talking about anime. But, like, some of it I'm going to be watching with a friend of mine, because, like, a friend of mine ended up watching seasons 2 and 3 of Fooly Cooly, and, see, as an Ava fan, I can confirm that it is trash. That's what Triple Eight Alphabet says. Yep. It's because the main thing with Evangelion for me is Shinji, the main character. Hold on. Do we need shotguns to keep the peace? Bully bats will surely do. So we're going to basically tell the police, stop shooting people when they're being annoying. Just beat them down a little bit. Freaking... The thing with Shinji is, there's times where I just think he's such a little fucking bitch and he pisses me off. And then there's other times I remember he's a 14-year-old boy with depression and he's being asked to do things that are way so bad. Oh, I need to talk about anime in Churchill's voice. Well, here, somebody give me another Studio Trigger anime to review real quick, because I have my notes and I'll read them in the Churchill voice, okay? Because we're just killing time right now. I'm not interested in doing any of these right now, so we're just gonna turn those off. Didn't Ava save anime or kind of revitalize it? I don't know that much. I know that it's kind of an ongoing joke, though, that, like, Studio Gainax or Studio Trigger, they saved anime again, like, every show that comes out. But anyway, my friend saw the second and third seasons of Fooly Cooly, and I remember we saw the second one together, and I thought that it was fine, but it was definitely subpar compared to the first. But then he saw the third on his own, and he was telling me, oh man, no, it works out. Yeah, exactly, Triple Eight Alpha. So it's like Darling in the Franxx. Okay, so I'm gonna read my Darling in the Franxx anime notes in Winston Churchill's voice. Y'all are gonna love this. I love Darling in the Franxx, by the way. It's. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I had to keep my notes to an index card length ish. So here we go. Churchill reviews Darling in the Franxx.
Suggested anime to watch before viewing: Neon Genesis Evangelion. Also, it isn't an anime, but you should also watch Pacific Rim. The synopsis: in a world where humanity is on the verge of extinction.
Hold on, I need to get Churchill's face on here, because he's the one reviewing it.
In a world where humanity is on the verge of extinction, children are raised specifically to fight monsters known as Klaxosaurs, trying to wipe out the last remnants of mankind. They pilot mechas known as Franxx, which require boy-girl pairings to operate. The pilot hero, following some chance encounters, finds himself paired with 02, a girl with horns and a reputation as a partner killer.
I'm going a little bit too Nixon, sorry.
Pros: GOAT tier original soundtrack, a strong directorial direction. The show has more layers than an onion. Scientists have reported that episode 13 of Darling in the Franxx could possibly, if distilled into a liquid form, serve as a cure for cancer. The mecha versus kaiju fights are usually group versus group fights, rather than 1 versus 1, which is a change of standard pace. Anyway, cons. The second half of the show has some controversial plot twists. Show also perhaps slows down a bit too much around episodes 7 to 11. Skip the opening or the ending? No. The OP is GOAT tier and mandatory viewing that adapts to the show. The EDs also change frequently. Who would like watching Darling in the Franxx? Romantics, mecha fans, people who can tolerate the show's lows in exchange for the extreme highs. Who would hate watching Darling in the Franxx? People who hated the finale of Lost because they were dead the whole time. People who watch Lord of the Rings and ask, why didn't they just fly the rings to Mordor? Rewatch value? Absolutely.
Okay. So, Darling in the Franxx is great. It's one of my favorites of all time. It was incredible. I don't want to get too much into it right now, but it's beautiful. I consider myself to be a very romantic dude, and I think in terms of that, it's so good. It's beautiful. Let me not like it. Have I seen Ashita no Joe? Is that the boxing one? That reminds me, Megalo Boxing's getting a second season. Get some more of this tea here. Oh shoot, we've got the war goal now. Right. So we're gonna try to just shove our way in. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will. Actually, it looks like it might. Yeah, we just push straight through to Kathmandu. To Kathmandu. Oh, we have an Air Force. That's right. Oh, man. Okay, let's get them working here, but I should have had them training before. That was my blunder, everybody. My blunder. Travels of a Witch. I heard good things about Travels of a Witch, but I didn't get around to it. Somebody else was asking me something about. The Khanate's gone. That's the Governorate of the Steppes. Keep them pinned here. Did Studio Trigger do Little Witch Academia? Yes, it did. In fact, I think that Little Witch Academia is the highest rated Studio Trigger anime on the My Anime list, which is my understanding is like the IMDb of anime, and like that's definitely not a perfect system, but whatever. Actually, let me check my notes here for Little Witch Academia. I'll just do these in a regular voice because the Churchill voice is very slow. So, Little Witch Academia. Oh, I have very few notes on this, actually. But I said Little Witch Academia full-length series because there were 2 OVAs. Well, there's like an OVA and a movie, basically. Akko, okay, so it's about Akko as a girl who's inspired to... You know what? Hold on. I need to focus on this war. Never mind. Here's what we're going to do. Check this out. Here's what we're going to do. This is big brain time. We're going to fall back here to the river line so that they advance on me. And they're not going to have enough divisions to do it. To like, you know, cover the whole front line, and then we'll go past them. Yeah, I'll just read the pros and cons and who would like, or just a little bit of this. So, pros for Little Witch Academia. This is basically how you introduce Studio Trigger to kids. It pulls back on the sex, violence, and divisive plot twists to make a more palatable show while still keeping many of their signatures. That's probably why it is the highest rated Studio Trigger show on MAL. Cons. Show drags a little bit in the second half of the first season. There are a couple of named characters that don't really get developed and just seem to take up space. The main character is arguably the weakest part of the show in the first season. Who would like watching this? The series is basically if My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fused with Harry Potter. So if you like those, you will like this. Let's see. Okay, yeah, now they're advancing. Okay. Let's try to be clever here. Send them through to Kathmandu. Okay, bombs to batons. No guns, Andre, said the chief. Andre let out an incredulous scoff. Excuse me, sir? Churchill's orders, no guns. Take a nightstick if you need it, but we're only to break out these. He tapped on a shotgun when we're actually being threatened. Otherwise, it's too aggressive. Part of his liberalization reforms. What, so when a bunch of thugs come and want to gut me for fucking with them a few weeks ago, I just stand there and get shanked? No, you call for help, idiot. The chief crossed his arms, glaring at the officer. Your entire job is to protect and serve the people of our nation, not shoot and plunder the people. Churchill is trying to rehabilitate his image among the people, and you're a representative of Churchill. That means we're part of this rehabilitation, too. Yeah, I get it. I'll be nice to the thieves tonight, don't worry. Boy, that accent's all over with me. What do you mean the people are desperate? Law is law. Oh, we can modify the government now. Can we get a theorist? No. Oops. Okay, so what can we do? We could do a chief of, we could do like manufacturers and stuff. I guess we should do industry. Yeah, let's pick that up. More stability. We're still at only 30%. What the heck? Or no, we're at 48%. Excuse me. I was looking at the wrong thing. That's our party popularity. Go. Damn it all. Okay, yeah, you know, I'm being impatient. Just stop. Stop and pull back, please. Hey there, Sengins. Yeah, you are a little late. It's fine, though. Remember, I've got a playlist of the Churchill live streams, so if anybody misses them or they only caught part of it, you could always check in with it later. Yeah, why did I do this? Now these guys are just there, freaking... Okay, we're going to 5 speed because we need this guy to lose, and then we'll be able to push through later. Oh my gosh! Hurry the fuck up! I can't believe how well he's holding. We've lost 3,000 men, they've lost 1,000. Syria declared war on Israel. Let's freaking go! I can't believe, like, good for the 10th Indian Division, but it's actually kind of annoying. Okay, here we go. I think that's pulled them back enough. There, now they've got 3 areas to cover. And so now they will die. There we go, there we go. So we're pinning them there, we're pinning them there. And now you, I want you to come through here, cut them off, and that'll be a day. That's it. Okay, seriously, they're like attacking out to whatever. It don't matter to me what you did. I think that a lot of Hearts of Iron 4 mods people are using TV tropes now instead of wikis. I don't know. I think it's because wikis are like kind of a pain to deal with in terms of make. I'm not sure, but I think there's something stopping a lot of people from doing it. So there, we've got them cut off. Too freaking easy. Yep. That's what I should have just done from the start. Yeah, it's big brain Churchill. Yep, one of them's dead already. Fantastic. So, yeah, there was like 9,000 men in that pocket that we just got. Oh my god, 341 days. Well, let's get started. Fantastic. Another one closed. 18,000 casualties. You see what you get when you mess with the warrior, Churchill? We voted with 100% of the poll went for Democratic Churchill. It was amazing. Every single person who voted wanted Democratic Churchill. It was incredible to watch. Done! Nice. We captured all that infantry equipment too. Very pleased with that. There we go. Oops. Most excellent. And now this gives us access to other areas as well. Unfortunately, we're going to have some resistance now. What we need is... Shoot, I was hoping that there would be a garrison unit of some kind that we could use. Or that would have been created off the great tanks or whatever. We don't have the equipment to create the armored car garrisons. Shoot. Should have puppeted Nepal for their navy. What's happening in Europe? Who's in Germany? Germany is currently run by Ernst Graf zu Reventlow. And France went to avant-garde. Or, well, they've been avant-garde. You know what I'm saying. I think they're going to go with the escadrons. Just my personal opinion. German's ideology is communist. France's ideology is insane. It's super sanity, bro. Okay, let's get ready to do some more manual stuff here. Great. Yeah, we'll go after the United Churches of Assam. Actually, was that even a good idea? How big's their army? Oh, we could take them. Ain't nothing but a thing. Hopefully. Oh, he already did go escadron. Oh, I don't remember that being a thing where his portrait changes. But then again, it's been so long since I played. I'm sure that they've updated a lot of stuff. Yeah, actually, I'm wondering if I should have gone for the Democratic State. No, they're pretty strong, actually. That would have been a bad idea, I think. So now, though, we have... No, we still don't have military factories, actually. That sucks. Even though we just took this areas. How do we still just have one factory? This is bullshit. Civilian oversight. Let's do local police force. That might help me a little more. Godzilla versus Big Monkey. Who do you think is going to win? Well, Godzilla got pretty damn pumped up in the King of the Monsters one, but since it's in the American cinematic universe, it's probably going to be Kong who they have win. Plus, all the trailers are painting Kong as the good guy. Having said all that, and incidentally, I'm making this prediction, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong if they do this. Everybody wants to be all smug. I predicted what the major blockbusters are going to do. But I think they're probably going to do a Mechagodzilla or something to the effect. And then the Godzilla and Kong will end up fighting it. And I think it's already been established because in King of the Monsters, the freaking military already created the Oxygen Destroyer, which only got like 2 minutes of screen time. But I think the Oxygen Destroyer is interesting, though, because then they could set up for Destroy at some point. But I think that it's gonna end up being Mechagodzilla will show up and Kong and Godzilla will fight it together. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not the only person who's thought it, but I've seen some people going, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're fighting the Godzilla versus Kong," but then Mechagodzilla is probably gonna show up. I don't know. Destroy is great. Godzilla vs. Destroy is one of my favorite of the Godzilla franchise movies. I've seen every single Godzilla movie that's ever been made, by the way, except for Terror of Mechagodzilla. Census time! 17 people in some backwater village, 45,000 in a suburb in Lucknow, 95% Hindu, 5% Muslim, negligible numbers of other faiths, including Jain, Christian, Jew, Sikh, 101 women to 100 women. That's probably supposed to say men. It was boring. The census officer moved from house to house, hoping that egg didn't pelt him when people saw the Churchill badge on his breast. He approached one small adobe hut, the type of hut that didn't house anyone of importance, the type of hut you expect Dalits to hide inside and wait for an inevitable end, but he still had to mark them down as useless as they were. He knocked on the door and waited. A woman opened the door and welcomed him in, noticing the badge on his breast. The moment he was in, he felt the atmosphere tense, up, tighten. The man sat in a chair, his eyes covered by bandages, his body covered in the scars of chlorine gas. 2 women, 1 man, used to have 3 boys. Used to. Based all Churchill, all-female Churchill India, yeah. Snyder cut of Monkey versus Lizard. Yeah. We need more administrators, more bureaucrats, more people to manage our nation. Hire anyone who could help us. I think Mothra will appear again in Kong versus Godzilla. Well, Mothra kind of vaporized, but she's come back before. Oh yeah, because there was an egg. Wasn't there a second egg in the credits of King of the Monsters? Yeah, Mothra always dies, though. Unless Batra's around, Mothra will always die. Although one of my favorite deaths in any Godzilla movie was when Rodan was went into like this meltdown thing, and when it and Godzilla were fighting Mechagodzilla, and it used like the ashes of its body to rip into Mechagodzilla's armor. It was so freaking badass. It was like right out of an anime. Is the Snyder Cut chemo? I'm just going to say, now, I never saw Justice League, but I heard universally bad things about it, and it's my understanding that if you take a shitty movie and add 2 more hours on it, it's probably not going to make it not shit. And then fucking, I was hearing a little bit of a review of the Snyder Cut on the radio yesterday while I was driving, and they played some clips of, like, the Flash being all Marvel quippiness, because, like, that's just completely infected the movie market now. Gotta have your Marvel-style quips everywhere, because like the Marvel movies made money, so we gotta do that too. Every movie has to be exactly the same. and he was just talking about how he was running late, and he goes like, "Oh, it was crazy. Like, I missed the bus, but then the bus came, but then that also made me more late." And like, there was this lady, and she was trying to pay, and she had like, she was like nickel and dimes to pay for the bus. It's like, hey, this is her last precious moments on earth. Just let her through. And it's just, what the fuck is this dialogue, So I'm probably not gonna watch it. I got other things. I could spend those 4 hours better, like watching Gunbuster later today. Anyway, so we're going to be wrapping it up here in like 5 minutes. Okay. When's this war going to start? November 16th. We need factories. We're still dealing with resistance issues. We're missing artillery and support equipment. Yeah, no shit. That's what happens when you don't have factories. Yeah, I think the last DC live-action movie I saw was the Batman vs. Superman one. But the new MonsterVerse, the American thing, there's certainly plenty of potential there. I think, now this is going to call me crazy, and I haven't heard anybody else on the internet say this, but I think they're at some point going to do Biollante, or Biollante, I think it's how it's pronounced, the plant monster, because there was a thing in the King of the Monsters credits where it talked about how the Sahara was spontaneously blooming, like it all like got covered in plant life suddenly, and so I think that's going to be Biollante. You know what? We're going to research the Great War era tanks just so we have that division template. So there's definitely a lot of potential. Obviously you have things where like you could bring in Godzilla's son. Yeah, there's so many kaijus out there. I don't think we're gonna get Anguirus, which a friend of mine, who him and I have watched a lot of Godzilla together, he's a big Anguirus fan, but he was saying, man, but he hasn't really kept up with the new MonsterVerse. But I was saying, like, man, Anguirus are bust, and I went, oh, dude, pretty sure Anguirus is dead, because like you see a skeleton that looks like Anguirus in Godzilla's home and King of the Monsters. Yeah, so they've got, there's no shortage of material. Godzilla is a fucking 50-year-old, more than 50 years old franchise. Do Space Godzilla. They've already established there's aliens. They went with King Ghidorah being an alien for that particular, backstory. They did the Monster Zero thing. Does the Indian have a place in our society? Does the Indian exist as servant or as equal? Questions must be asked, for democracy must choose who votes. I have a friend who, he has interesting points of view when it comes to watching things. He's the kind of guy who loves to watch bad movies, you know what I mean? And he watched Skull Island, and he was loving it and laughing about a lot of things. And we were talking about it, and I was talking about this scene towards the end of Kong Island where a guy is going to, like, sacrifice himself for no reason, apparently. And, like, he's got all these grenades, he's going to blow himself up. And then the monster that's chasing them just smacks him into a cliff, and he blows up there. And I was talking about how, like, stupid and pointless that scene was. And then my friend thought it was amazing because he's like, no, I love it. It's like, that's what's great about this movie. It's like whenever, meaning the Skull Island one, whenever this movie has the choice between doing something smart and something good, they do something good. Like, that's how he described it. Alright, do we want to maybe get off of civilian economy? Yeah, we actually should have done this before, maybe. Not that it's helping, I still only have one factory. The Hobbit is published! Ooh, let me read this. The veteran of the Great War and a linguistic scholar, J.R.R. Tolkien, has released a short novel. The Hobbit is a fantasy children's novel following the tale of Bilbo Baggins, the titular hobbit who sets out on an adventure for a treasure protected by the dragon Smaug. He meets a wizard and joins a merry band of dwarves, passing through many places and through many dangers. The book has received wide acclaim, including the prize of Best Juvenile Fiction by the New York Herald Tribune. Already there's a talk of a sequel set in Tolkien Middle-earth. I want a copy of it now! That reminds me, so somebody suggested it to me and I started yesterday. I figure I'm going to maybe do it while I'm commuting in my car and things like that. But I started listening to the audiobook, or one of the audiobook versions of Fallout Equestria. and I was really enjoying it so far. I'm only like 2 chapters in, and I'm probably gonna actually have to slow down because I'm not gonna have a lot of chances to listen to it. But I like the guy's voice. Unfortunately, the main character is a girl, so it creates a little confusion in my brain sometimes, because it's like, okay, I have to keep remembering that the main character is a woman, even though she's being voiced by a man. So anyway, yeah, the descriptor of a lot of the scenes, like when the person leaves the stable and enters into, you know, the Fallout world, all the irradiated stuff, it really reminded me of The Hobbit, actually. Like, something I always tell people, like, it's like, look, Tolkien's a great writer. It's not just that he built a great universe. Like, he's so visual. As I tell people, like, read the first couple pages of when they go into Mirkwood. It's fucking amazing. Or, you know, I've always said I will put the chapters when the Fellowship is in Moria up against any of Lovecraft's work. But who knows? Maybe it's just me. I never actually got around to seeing Pacific Rim Uprising because Del Toro wasn't directing it. I just felt like his vision wasn't going to be there, and the trailers didn't make me feel any better. Now there's a Pacific Rim anime, though, I noticed, so that's pretty cool. I don't know when the heck I'd get around to it. There's just so much to do, so little time to do it between working on the channel and my, you know, job. But we're gonna okay, let's read this event and then we're gonna call it a day. So, a new constitution, with new laws, with new codes, with new ethics in place to support our nation, the United Provinces shall form a vanguard for democracy in India, free from the socialistic and nationalist influences, free from theocracy and from radicalism. The Indian shall no longer suffer from the false choice between dictators, but instead shall be able to live their full life, a full life befitting them and their intelligence, their skills, and their place in society. This new constitution is a declaration of the beliefs of Churchill, a declaration of the beliefs of Britain, a declaration of the place of India in the world. Churchill has spent weeks drafting it, spent weeks debating it, and it's all come together to this. To all Indians are afforded the following rights. From all Indians are demanded the following responsibilities. Anyway. So, yeah, we've got our focus thing here. Now we have different decisions that we could do. I figured if we're going democratic, like liberal democracy, we should go full liberal democracy. So we're probably going to go just all the way down here on the right, because this seems to be the quote-unquote freer option. But anyway, HOI4 players should have a attention for detail. Yeah, we should try anyway. Anyway, I'm Conquering History Games. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all another time. Take care, spike your hair, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and a special thank you to those of you who donate through Super Chat. You are what keep the live streams going. I'm going to do another live stream tonight, by the way. Keep an eye out for my Nier Automata, Automata campaign. We're having a lot of fun in that campaign. I definitely, even if you haven't watched the beginnings of it, you should definitely come check it out. It's a beautiful game, and yeah, we're having fun. See you around, everybody.